Hey friends, I'm Andy B, Community Manager with Anarchy Online, and today we're taking you along a trip across memory lane, celebrating 20 years of Anarchy Online. We actually found some developers that used to work on the game way back in the day, so we actually had a sit down with them and a chat about what their experiences were like working on the game. Check it out!
People didn't get the concept of MMO, so the journalists were like, 4 years? Are you mad? 4 years? That's a long time. No way you're going to last maybe 1 year. And here we are 7 years later, and it's still going strong.
Hi, it's me, Gaute. Oh my god, it's been 13 years since the last time we did one of these videos. Just reacting to the fact that we said that the journalists at the time back in 2001 didn't believe that we would be there after 1 year. Here we are after 20 years. Oh God, let me sit and do this after 30 and 40 as well. That would be such a great time. It's amazing to look back at the game at Anarchy Online, which is such a big part of my life, such a big part of my soul, such a big part of my history, such a big part of my creative vision, and just be so unbelievably proud of the fact that it's been going on for 20 years. And first time I walked into Elysium in Shadowlands, and I was completely alone. Of course I was alone. It was no one else had ever. It was like months before the game launched, and I just looked at this beautiful place, and these hanging towering mountains and massive vortex just spinning, and the sense of being in a different world. I'm so proud of Anarchy Online. It's been my child, my brainchild. I'm so proud of all the people I worked with. I miss you guys so much, and I wish Funcom such a great anniversary.
I was first introduced to Anarchy Online as a player, much like many thousands of other people at the launch of the game. I picked it up in a store and experienced the game for the first time purely as a player.
Happy birthday, Anarchy Online. I remember getting asked to do the 7-year version of this video and commenting that it blew my mind that we'd reached that milestone for Rubica. And here we are now celebrating the 20th anniversary of Anarchy Online. I'm so proud to have been part of that legacy and get to create this wonderful game and this wonderful place where players have called their home for 20 years and had so many adventures. Even to this day, as I travel and do conventions and I talk to player communities and get to meet other gamers and indeed game developers, I'm always struck how well received the game is and how people have such fond memories of Anarchy Online. And even all these years later, when I talk to people and they realize that I worked on the game, that we have this wonderful connection over these great memories that people had of exploring Rubica for themselves and what that world meant to them. And thinking about all those players all around the world who've had that experience for the last 20 years. So here's to 20 more years, and we'll see you on the 40th anniversary, hopefully.
Hello, my name is Vebjørn. 20 years ago I was the lead artist on Anarchy Online, and now I'm a senior graphic artist on Clone Exiles.
I'm Øyvind. I am a senior environment artist at Funcom, and 20 years ago I was just an artist on Anarchy Online.
My name is Viljar. I'm now a game director. 20 years ago I was a world designer on Anarchy Online. I still remember, I think, what was the poly count for characters. 10,000 polys on a character, right?
No? A little bit less than that. Now I start out with test with, you can try with 90.
Yes,
I
remember that.
You can't do anything with 90, but I tried, and then I got to 200 with the ones in the first screenshots. And then we finally started to get that into testing, and then I decided I think 800 plus the head and plus weapons, it was like 1200.
1200 polys.
The graphics were defined of the fact that every artist wanted to make a fantasy game. So that's why it ended up more like looking more in the direction of Star Wars, that let's see how much fantasy can we get into sci-fi with the power swords, armors that looked a bit more. And also the inspiration was Quake 2 at the moment as well for the graphics and how the textures were made. So we kind of like tried to fantasy medievalize a sci-fi game.
There was a lot of freedom, and I think that gave us a lot of humor in the game. Some of it intentional, some of it maybe not.
Like the
But
Elite.
I think that there were a lot of freedom when it came to developing the naming for things, the description of things. Also, different designers would have ownership of different areas, and I think that you see, some of the personalities from the designers reflected in the different playfields, at least.
When it came to design and graphics, well, everything went into that. It was like so much freedom. We made our own universe. Anything goes.
Yeah. I didn't foresee that we would be here 20 years later, but I think that the goal that we all were working towards, we wanted everything to be the best that it could be, and we wanted to be the #1 MMO back in the day. I personally felt that we were the best looking MMO at the time, at least. The art team, they made animatics in 2 weeks or something like that. The holy grail that we were trying to do was that the actions people would do in the game would actually be meaningful. Now, we never had time to develop the systems that would allow that to play out. So we decided instead to actually take things that had happened in the game and gotten some notoriety and actually reflect those in the animatics. So the animatics would have a story, but they would hint at big things that had happened. There was one thing in particular that was pretty cool, where some player just went into the city, the neutral city, and said, "I'm the ruler of the city." And it's like, well, we didn't have any mechanics to support that, but we didn't have any mechanic to say that they weren't. So what we ended up doing was that the leader of the city, per the story, actually had a dossier on the side with the name of that player reflected. So somebody did something silly in the game, and it got reflected in that animatic. So I don't think a lot of people actually know that, but that was kind of cool. Behind the scenes.
I was really proud of the graphics when we shipped it, because it's the first game I've done so much of it. But the legacy lives on, and people still play that game.
There's something special to be said about games that they ship, which are multiplayer and online. To kind of see that game just come and populate, and you can walk around and, oh my god, these guys are playing my game.
Actually, I myself, every year, I log into my old character, which I parked in one of the levels that I built, only one trade on one of the rooftops there, and just kind of look over and say, yeah, it's still here. My favorite moment that stands out, because it was the first game I worked on, and it was the first game that I had the pleasure of seeing shipped. And I remember when we all gathered in the dungeon in the old Funcom offices. There must have been 100 of us, and we had a specially made keyboard with a red enter key, and the CEO stood on a chair, held up the keyboard, and then Martin and Moore, the lead program, went up and pressed the red button, and then we were live. That was actually quite moving back in the day, because we had worked very hard to make Anarchy Online a real product. It's interesting. I've been around to schools talking about game development, and every class there's one or two people, young people, who says, yeah, they played Anarchy Online, and that just amazes me to this day, that even today some people try it, because it is a cornerstone in the MMO genre. The game fostered a certain community, they're still there today, and I think that it's the community that it's probably not big, but it's still there today, and I think that always warms the heart. Was it worth it? Because we were pretty hard on that game.
If I could go back and tell my 20-year younger me that the game I worked on would still be, having players in 20 years, I don't think he would have believed me.
Hi, my name is Rui Casais and I'm CEO of Funcom, and I'm extremely proud to be here talking about the 20th anniversary of Anarchy Online. In fact, I first played Anarchy Online a bit after launch, when a friend of mine that had an account went on summer vacation, and he let me borrow the account for a few months to play. And afterwards I was really happy that he came back, because I was playing so much that things at university were getting a bit down prioritized. Fast forward a few years later, and that same friend mentions that there's a job opening in Funcom in Oslo. And I was finishing my degree at that point in time, and I decided to apply. And guess what? I got the job. I went to Oslo, and I started working on a couple of pathfinding bugs for AO. So my actual career in Funcom started with Anarchy Online, and I'm very happy to be here this many years later as CEO, still holding the torch, proud of everything the game has accomplished, proud of everything the team has accomplished, and proud of the community that keeps the game alive, running, and as a pillar of the MMO community that has been going on for so long. I think it is a testament to the nature of the game. It is a testament to the many people at Funcom that kept it running for so many years. And I hope to be around when, 20 years down the line, AO is still running and is still there as a very important piece of MMO history. So once again, happy birthday Anarchy Online, happy birthday to the community, and thank you all for joining us on this great adventure.
Well, that about wraps it up. Thank you all for joining us on this brief retrospective of 20 years of Anarchy Online. AO officially turns 20 on June 27th, 2021, and don't miss our in-game events going on right now through July 14th. From everyone here on the Anarchy Online team and everyone at Funcom, thank you to each and every one of you for your passion, your dedication, your creativity, and your support over 2 decades of exploring Ruby Ka and beyond. Please stay safe out there, and we'll see you around.